Hello, my name is Portia Fuller. I am the Libs 200 class. Coming on here to talk about my action project video. Well, first I want to start off and say what I chose was to talk about legal and illegal immigrants. But my action project was based off a legal immigrant. I have a person that works with me. We work for UNC Healthcare in Chapel Hill, in one of the clinics in the hospital. Her name is Judith Mendez Severa, and I have had the experience of working with her a little over a year now. I started in March of 2018. She's been there maybe about 3 years. I've been there going on 2. So she is one of the benefit counselors that work in our clinic, that also works alongside with the Hispanic patients that come to our clinic, and also the English speaking patients. She's very fluent in Spanish. She is from El Salvador, and she is 27 years old. Judith was born in El Salvador, but moved here when she was 9. Her parents came to the United States to try to find economic opportunities better for her children. So later they sent for her and her siblings to come back to the United States. Also, just a few things I did learn about her is she's not married. She doesn't have any children. In my interview with her, I did ask her several questions of, was her choice to migrate to the United States at her age. She really didn't have a choice in the matter, but she was most grateful and glad that her parents chose to come here to provide a better life and better education for her and her siblings. I do know she left alone. She left grandparents, godparents, family and friends, childhood friends mostly were left behind in El Salvador. One thing I do want to say is what unique experience did I learn during the interview? Well, Judith was a very unique person, and the unique experience that I did learn was that we have always judged when there's someone that's English speaking that can't, then when someone is Spanish speaking and they can't speak English well. I have been the person to judge. Go back to your country. If you can't say what we say, things like that. I have been that person in the past growing up and always wondered why would they come here to the United States. During this interview, I've learned that the United States is a more developed country than Mexico, El Salvador, all the other countries over there. We're more developed. They have a lot of gangs. You don't have a choice in the matter when it comes to things like that. Over there is what I learned during the interview. And I also learned that each and every one of immigrants, whether they're legal or illegal, they come here for their own special reason. Some are just wanting a better life. Some are just wanting a better education. Some are just here, maybe just getting away from crime that they've committed there, or they come here and commit a crime and it's an easy way for them to go back home. Those are the things that I did learn by researching legal and illegal immigrants. An issue to raise awareness. It's not to judge them, but to help the immigrants along the way. I do know that as a single parent, I have visited local DSS, have been able to get assistance. And before, when I walked in the room, there were millions of immigrants that was there. And I'm like, oh, they're taking all the food or all the housing. They get things first. They get a better choice and pick of things. But in equality, we're all equal. They are humans too. And I think that the way that they are treated by us Americans, people that live in the United States, is so unfair because of the poverty level that they come from to come in here. So in the most frequent local communities, because they need assistance, it's hard for them. Most of them live in a one house and there's 7 adults and maybe 5 kids because they all learn to live together. We as Americans, we don't do that because we prey on people's downfall and look at material things of what others have. But I've learned in this interview with talking with Judith that they love amongst each other and they don't judge what the next person have. They just all share what each other have with each other. So I noticed that a lot of the local DSS resources are more knowledgeable, and the reason why they're more knowledgeable is because the immigrants come here and they seek out for help, and that is the first place that they go because most local DSSs, social services, health departments, they started out first having interpretations for them. The baby have a Spanish interpreter, which they now have them in all the hospitals, all the clinics, businesses. They even have now where you can call a number and don't have to physically have a Spanish interpreter in front of you, but they can call a number now and have someone on the phone help you interpret with someone. So I think that things have gotten better to help them be more accustomed to our lifestyle here in the United States. My community of learners is English-speaking people because I think we as Americans do need to learn even their language. I'm not, I've took Spanish. I'm not big on Spanish with knowing what they're saying, but the basics, hola, adios, por favor, the basics just to say to them. And it's funny because a lot of Hispanics that do come in the clinic that I work at, they automatically look at me and think I'm Hispanic and they'll start talking Spanish to me. And I'm like, oh, no, wait, no, un momento, let me go get Judith. So she has been a very help. And I thought that she would have been a great person for me to interview with me being a single parent, working full time, going to school full time. It was hard for me to get to other places to actually interview. So it all worked out very good in my experience, and I learned a lot from it. The higher class groups, I think, is what look down on the immigrants. I think the higher class look as if they are, not wealthy, so they don't deserve things. But I think we just need to revamp why they're here in the United States. And I think with this interview with Judith have really helped me more understand why most of them have moved over here from, all those countries outside of the United States. I do believe the United States is more of a developed country than most of the countries out that surround us. So I do understand why now they are here. Better their education, better their future for themselves and their children. The issue to reproduce equality is it caused more and more immigrants to come to the United States, and they're migrating here because they need help and they want to get away from the poverty and the violence and things. Yes, we do have the same thing that goes on here in the United States, but I think they understand that they have a better way of living here in the United States. I've learned that they come here for economic opportunities. And I think that everyone that travel here, whether they're legal or they're illegal immigrant, after speaking with Judith, I know that her family definitely came here for economic opportunities. So this interview has been great. And also it has taught me to be a better person when it comes to welcoming them into our clinic, speaking with them out in public. And so at the end of my video, I would like to share a picture of Judith that I'm going to show you now that she sent to me that we wasn't, able to have while we were at work. So this right here just shows Judith here in El Salvador as a teenager when she went back home to visit. And also this is what she looks like now. So this shows, and what she says is, and she lives off this, you don't have to live in fear. Stop being stubborn. You are not alone, and lean on God. And she's very, very religious when it comes to things that I need help with, and she's a great, great person. And so I really appreciate her helping me with this project, and I think it was a success with me learning. So thank you for your time. Thanks for listening, and I hope that this will be helpful for others as well. Thanks.